Welcome into Head to Head, everybody. Mike McCoy, Simone Eli joining you as we are counting down to kickoff for Alabama taking on Kentucky on the road. The Tide 6-0 in SEC play after a huge win over LSU. We're going to break all of that down, then look ahead to the Wildcats matchup this weekend. And what's next for Alabama? We'll have that coming up. Let's go head to head. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Mike McCoy rocking the glasses today. I like it. A very studious look as we were breaking down the Tide. I texted you after the LSU game, and I said, boy, you were right about it being a shootout, and it dang sure was.
It was. It was a pleasure to watch. Again, I'm not too sold on the complete entirety of our offense, but I take a win. Milroe played insane.
You got to be happy with that one, bro.
I'm happy with the win.
This guy's expectations are just unattainable, I feel like.
Let me ask you this. We understand the recipe. We know, you and I know what it looks like, what Alabama has to do to get to win the Natty.
You're right, yeah.
And I think you got to take the dog off the leash and just let him loose. Because, I mean, obviously, they still doesn't trust the offensive line as well. Yeah. But he's still not – I don't think now he's getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He is. He looks phenomenal. I'm a fan.
Talking about Milroe?
Again, yes, man. Milroe looked amazing.
He looked amazing is an understatement. I mean, unbelievable. We're talking 4 touchdowns, broke a school record, nearly 400 total yards, the SEC's Offensive Player of the Week. I mean, he checked every box you can possibly check, and he just had that swagger about him, man. He was ready to roll all night, and every time that LSU threw a punch, he was right there to answer.
He was, but what I want to see is a little bit. It's got to be a balance. We know he can run.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're highlighting his attributes. It's like the pretty girl who don't know she's real pretty. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
We got to highlight the attribute. We got to take her to get her hair done, make sure them nails look good. We got to do it all.
Yeah.
But I think right now we just got to wear sweatsuits on.
I mean, I feel that. I'll say this, and like you said from the beginning, a win is a win, and a win against the like one of the number one or one of the top offensive teams in the country is pretty impressive, regardless of whether the breakdown was running or passing the ball. And I promise you this, Mike, if you're holding that trophy in the season, nobody's asking how you got there. No one's saying, oh, was it even? Oh, did they throw it more? Did they run it more? No one cares. And Jalen Milroe said in his press conference on Monday, he said, I'm going to do what I have to do, or whatever it is, throw, pass, you name it, to keep the ball moving forward.
He is, but what are we working on in the film room? What is being drawn up? What plays are being called?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
We know you can beat him. He was the best player on the field.
Oh, no question.
Barred second to none that night. You know, I mean, he put a campaign together. He should be in the talks for the Heisman.
You've been saying that too. You've been saying that.
I'm just saying.
Let's talk about the defense, because obviously it was a shootout, but the Tide able to shut down the Tigers. And then there was a little bit of a controversial play there in the fourth quarter, of course, that knocked out Jaden Daniels from the game, Dallas Turner with the hit. And a lot of folks, college football coaches, saying it was targeting. Nick Saban said this week, listen, it was unfortunate that his helmet got up into him and all. And it was a bam, bam thing. What was your thoughts on that, Mike?
I hope they don't even edit this. And you tell me.
I'm the one that edits it, so
tell the men to take them pink panties off. Let the boys play. God, dog, it's football, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
It's a hit.
Yeah.
We gotta strike fear. If anybody, you should have been cussing out your offensive line.
Yeah.
He didn't do his job.
You're right. The protection certainly. I mean, what was Dallas Turner supposed to do? And again, I'm not trying to be some Bama homer. I'm a journalist. Of course, I want to see Alabama win. We get to cover bigger games as long as Alabama wins. And I think Dallas Turner is one of the best linebackers or one of the best in college football. But the guy just plays hard. And in that situation, when you're going after the quarterback who has the ball in his hands, it happens so fast. It's easy to replay the play and look at it in slow motion and break it down. And he got up into here, whatever. I mean, I just don't think he's a dirty player. He's not a dirty player. We know dirty players. I just don't see him as that. Yeah.
Forget all that. You're getting paid to play. I don't want to hear. You signed up for it.
Yeah.
And then I saw him looking through the tent like he didn't want to come back out there.
Yeah.
Dallas did his job. He
Well,
did his job.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, football is a little different nowadays than it is when you played. I think that's and just be based on the rules and protecting, trying to protect guys. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's just a reality. But anywho, not called targeting. It was called roughing the passer. People can break it down however they want to. I think there was something about it going back to SEC officials and, all that blah, blah, blah. But regardless, Alabama moving on. They're top the West. They have
yeah. You lost.
Yep.
You lost.
Yes.
Win next time. Have fun at the Bahamas Bowl.
Ooh. Alabama has an opportunity to clinch the West Division against Kentucky. They are 6-0 in conference play and would be a huge opportunity for the Tide to get a win on the road at Kentucky. How do you view this matchup? I feel like right now Alabama just has all the momentum in the world.
We definitely have the momentum, but I don't think it'll be a cakewalk. Kentucky looks good. I don't know if anybody has had a chance to watch these guys, but they are a well-coached team. And a team like this, if you give them an opportunity to hang around, and we have to play to the level of what Bama standard. We can't play to the level of our opponents.
Sure.
And it gets so easy to hindsight, like we're just going to look past Kentucky. But again, they're in the SEC for a reason. Mm-hmm. Those guys are D1 athletes for a reason. So you're going to have to bring the noise. If anything, I'm going to work on the things that's going to get me ready for. Come on now, we ain't going to, you know what's after this game. We know what's at stake. Everybody knows what's going on. So we got to prepare, and we got to give. Milroe can't take the hits that he's been taking. Mm-hmm. We got to relieve a little pressure off of him, and we got to work on some things in that secondary.
Yeah. The college football playoff, the second week of college football playoff rankings came out. Alabama stayed at 8th, and some people were unhappy with that because LSU win was such a big win. But I think that it's fair to say, even though they say the committee is supposed to just look at every single week as it is that week, what happened that week, and start from a clean slate, I don't really buy that. And, the only rankings that matter are the ones at the end of the season. If Alabama takes care of business, everyone knows. Were you frustrated by the rankings? Do you feel like they should have moved?
Heck no. If anything, honestly, that right there keeps those guys humble.
Yeah.
It gives you a carrot. It gives you a rabbit to chase.
You're right.
And it keeps guys, hey, man, we can't have any more hiccups in the middle of the street. So we have to have perfection from this day forward, from here on out.
Mike, let's do some predictions. What do we feel like this one is going to look like when it hits 0-0 in Lexington?
When it's all said and done, I'm giving Bama 48. I'm giving Kentucky 14.
Okay. I've got 35-14, but 48, that's a lot.
Yeah, we gotta see what the young boys gonna do. They gonna spread it.
Yeah.
We have to make a statement if they want these rankings to go up. We gotta be disrespectful. It's like I
was about to say that would be disrespectful because that would indicate that they kept their pedal to the metal a little bit there in the second half if they put a hang 48.
Yeah. We got to dominate. I want people to get back to the fear that we got Alabama this week. Yep. Lord have mercy. Mm-hmm. That's what we got to get back to. Right now, it's like, yeah, they good. Mm-hmm. But if we get a chance, they're going to give us everything they got. Mm-hmm. We have to. We got to be the bad little kids setting the ant bed on fire with the magnifying glass.
Well, there you go. Exactly. Mike's going to keep the pedal to the metal. And listen, I think part of it is holding the expectation high. And Nick Saban talked about not being complacent with the run that they're on. This is one of those games, one of those trap games, man, where Kentucky is one of those teams where they're not the best team in the SEC, but they can get you. They can sneak up on you. So Alabama's certainly looking to go on the road and make a statement. It'll be an 11 a.m. kickoff in Lexington on ESPN, and we'll see how it goes, Mike. It's coming down to a close, though, and Alabama has an opportunity to continue to gain momentum going into postseason play.
Can't wait to watch it.
We will see. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in to Head to Head. For Mike McCoy, I'm Simone Eli. We will see you next week.
Peace.
Brought to you by Alabama Beef Farmers and Ranchers.